Donald Trump just hit his 100 days, first 100 days in his second term, and he's counting it as great times, the best 100 days in the history of all time, if you will. However, this article disagrees. From Yahoo Finance, which is, of course, an aggregator as well, the headline reads, U.S. economy shrinks as Trump's trade wars hit businesses hard. The actual numbers that can be actually computed is a 0.3% first quarter contraction of the economy in 2025. First quarters being January, February, and March, which, because he took over in January and has been doing a whole lot in the time, are his problem. This marks the first decline in 3 years for the United States, with the downturn primarily attributed to the aggressive tariff policies disrupting trade and increasing costs for business and consumers alike here and actually around the world. The irony is the contraction follows a 2.4% growth in the previous quarter, and that highlights the swift impact of his new trade measures. Now, if you listen to Donald Trump, it's all Biden's fault. Of course, if you listen to Donald Trump a year ago, the economy that was under Biden's control, because he was still the president, whether you want to agree with that or not, was all Trump's fault, or cause, if you will. But the factor is a GDP decline with a surge in imports as companies are rushing to stockpile goods ahead of the pending tariffs. Basically buying them now while they're cheap, as opposed to when the tariffs do show up, things will be an issue. A 4.8 percentage points subtracted from the GDP because of all stuff brought in so quickly. While it's a temporary boost in the sense for stockpiling, that means it still eventually has to be sold off. So what doesn't get sold off is extra inventory, which becomes an issue and a slowdown if things don't go forward. Now, the Liberation Day happening in April has turned in more into a liberation of the Americans and their money, and businesses and their money, as opposed to us being liberated from taxes and the imports coming in to make money off other folks. Baseline 10% duty on basically everything, and then the big board that had all the tariffs for all the nations, and of course the issue 145% tariffs on Chinese imports. Now, over time, these have lessened. This has turned into, while Trump first said this was going to happen, this is what I want, tariffs are beautiful, then it turned into, well, they're negotiation tactics. There's things to work on. We'll see how they work out. That's what's going to happen. We shall see if they're negotiation tactics that will be good for us, bad for us, or the prices will stay high as it is. Tariff rates not been seen at this level since 1910. That's 10. That's literally over 100 years ago, with trade wars would back in the day before, indoor plumbing and air conditioning were kind of a thing. So as we say, we'll see how it plays out. But Trump is calling this the Biden overhang, which will be fixed fairly quickly once his tariffs are in place or the deals are done. So we'll see how that works out. But 100 days of greatness in the way of the economy is by the numbers, by actual numbers that people are looking at, not so great.